That is why I am proud to join them on their picket line and proud to say loud and clear, I am not buying Starbucks and you should not either.
Imagine you just got elected mayor of a major American city. You haven't even been sworn in yet. You haven't even met with business leaders. You haven't even reviewed the budget. In your very first move, you tell people to boycott one of the biggest employers in your city. And now that very same company just announced they're investing $100 million and bringing 2,000 jobs, not to Seattle, but to Nashville, Tennessee. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Good afternoon, beautiful people, and welcome to Nelly Miranda.
Well, Starbucks Global Headquarters will remain here in Seattle, but there are jobs that are based here that are now going to be moving to Nashville. That will essentially represent a second headquarters. The goal for Starbucks is to add 2,000 jobs there over the course of the next 5 years.
Right after winning the election, Seattle's socialist mayor jumps on a picket line with Starbucks workers. And instead of saying, let's bring both sides to the table, she says this: I'm not buying Starbucks, and you shouldn't either. Pay attention. This is the future mayor calling for an economic boycott against her own city's employer. That's like lighting a fire and then being shocked when things burn. Oh my goodness. I know I lit the fire, but why the hell did it burn so fast? Tennessee Governor Bill Lee said Tennessee is a place where many states envy. He told Starbucks, we are grateful and we want you here.
This is a state that has become the envy of many states.
As Tennessee's Governor Bill Lee rolls out the red carpet for Starbucks.
And we are extremely grateful for you, Brian, for your team.
A sharp contrast to what Mayor Wilson said at a Starbucks workers rally in November, encouraging people to boycott the company.
Bill Lee is grateful to have Starbucks, and Chapter will be grateful to have you. If you are 65 and on Medicare, come close. You might just be on a Medicare plan that is not best suitable for your needs. There are so many different plans, coverage, and costs, and I'm sure you guys try to do your research, but the government websites are so confusing. For only 20 minutes of your day, Chapter will walk you through all of your options, compare different plans and insurance companies, and make sure you are getting the best plan for your needs. The call is completely free, no pressure to sign up. Historically, people who review their plans with Chapter save about $1,100 per year, which can add up to tens of thousands of dollars over time. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain, including the opportunity to save more money for more than a few cups of Starbucks coffee. You owe it to yourself to double check. So again, if you are 65 and on Medicare and you want to double check and review all of your options, please call my trusted partner Chapter at 646-817-8160. That is 646-817-8160, or go to askchapter.org/Nelly. Now back to the story. Let's zoom out a little bit. Starbucks isn't just a coffee shop. It is not your mom and pop's local coffee shop, which usually have better coffee anyways, but that is not why we're here. We're talking about Starbucks, a company headquartered in Seattle, thousands of employees, millions in local taxes, entire ecosystems built around those jobs, restaurants, apartments, transit, small businesses. So when you have a company like that, it is not just the executives. You're hitting your entire city's economy. And when Starbucks CEO explains why they chose Nashville, he talks about talent, growth, opportunity, and a place where people can build careers and families.
Peabody Union is the new big corporate office that will be opened up. That's where all those new employees will be in Nashville. Starbucks says it will be a mix of new positions and Seattle-based positions that will be relocated to Nashville.
Now there are mounting questions on what Tennessee's gain will mean for Washington.
We're establishing really a strategic presence. It really sets us up for our next leg of growth, the next chapter of growth for us.
That was a very nice way to say that Tennessee are not taxing people into oblivion. Why isn't he saying that about Seattle? Well, because Washington State has been increasing taxes year by year. They just passed a millionaire's tax. They raised business taxes. And here's the kicker. Their business tax isn't even based on profit. It's based on revenue. So even if you are struggling, you will still pay said taxes.
Washington voters have repeatedly voted down income tax proposals, but Democrats, who hold a majority in Olympia, say this is what the state needs. The tax would impact households making more than $1 million a year. Those residents would be subject to a 9.9% levy on their incomes above $1 million.
To me, personally, it is common sense that if you make more money than 98% of Washingtonians, you pay an income tax to help build a better Washington for all Washingtonians.
If this bill passes today, future legislatures can easily come back and change the threshold from $1 million down to $500,000 to $250,000. They can apply it to anyone that they want to.
I do know from talking to the private wealth attorneys that many of them spent the second half of last year helping their clients find new domiciles outside Washington state. That's a bad trend.
Senate Bill 6346, as amended by the House, is declared passed.
Former Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz posted as the state house was finalizing the legislation in what could be interpreted as a goodbye message that he and his wife focused on doing our part to help those at risk and facing hard times in Seattle, but our private family office will move to Miami. A message that comes just a week after Starbucks announced it will transition corporate jobs from Seattle to Nashville.
I don't think that's coincidental, but that would be unfortunate if we lose people because of a goofy tax system.
Now compare that to Tennessee. No state income tax, business incentives, job creation credits, a government actively trying to attract companies, not push them away. So if you are wondering why they are moving to Nashville, Tennessee, it's really not that complicated. It's just math. Mixed in with policy, mixed in with leadership decision, and most importantly, common sense. And now here's where it gets interesting. After calling to boycott Starbucks and supporting the strike, Seattle's mayor released a statement saying, "Starbucks is a core part of Seattle's identity. We want a strong partnership." Wait a minute. A few months ago, you were telling people to boycott their business, and now you are calling for a strong partnership. That is not how partnership works. She's pulling a Kathy Hochul. Kathy Hochul was screaming for the wealthy to go down to Palm Beach, and when they did, she called them to come home, back to New York, so that they can help fund social programs, equivalent to someone kicking you out of their house and then calling you back to come and help them pay the bills because they realize that they cannot pay the bills by themselves.
Workers say they're pushing for higher pay and to eliminate what they call unfair labor practices. The union also says baristas from 40 cities across the country are prepared to make this the, quote, largest, longest strike in company history. Now Starbucks is insisting it treats its baristas well and that the strike only represents a small percentage of the company's workers. Hi, Andrew. So the union says Starbucks refused to offer new staffing and pay proposals. So where do negotiations stand now?
Well, Diane, they're calling this the Red Cup Rebellion. As you mentioned there, over 1,000 unionized Starbucks baristas walking off the job in part because they want a new collective bargaining agreement. But they also accuse the company of failing to negotiate in good faith. They also accuse Starbucks of trying to union bust and say that there are around 700 or so unresolved labor violations. So they're on strike because they want a new collective bargaining agreement, but they also have demands for what they want included in this new contract, which includes better hours and staffing, higher pay, as well as a resolution to some of those labor violations.
So although Starbucks workers have real concerns, there have been disputes over unionization. There are cases involving back pay, and yes, workers deserve fair treatment, but there's a huge difference between advocating for workers and actively working to destabilize your own city's economy. And again, I am not minimizing the workers' concerns, but when leadership jumps in and says boycott, that doesn't strengthen workers. It gives companies like Starbucks a good reason to leave. The workers are still in Seattle, but the growth went to Tennessee. What exactly was Katie Wilson's goal? Was it to help the workers? Did this help them? Or did this push opportunities elsewhere? At the end of the day, business go where they feel welcome and workers go where opportunities exist. It's really that simple. So what are your thoughts? Do you think this was about workers' rights, or was this a political move that then backfired? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you got any value from today's video, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to support the channel and ring the bell so you never miss any updates. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.